excited to be here, and I'm so thankful that all of you guys came out. I think it's awesome to see so many people who care about what's going on in the world, and I just feel really grateful to be here and to be able to sing for all of you guys. So. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly gleaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Young and old, of every color, from every nation, standing up and understanding that our nation can do much better than it is doing today. When we began this campaign a little over a year ago, what the pundits were saying is that our campaign was a fringe campaign. And what they were saying is the American people are satisfied with establishment politics and establishment economics. American people don't mind working longer hours for lower wages. It's fine with young people that they graduate college $70,000 in debt. It really doesn't matter that people are working 2 or 3 jobs and almost all of the new income and wealth is going to the top 1%. Well, it looks like the pundits got it wrong. American people, in fact, are sick and tired of establishment politics and establishment economics. And it looks like the American people are ready to transform our country in very profound ways. We have won, mostly by overwhelming numbers, the votes of young people throughout this country. The vision that we share of a nation based on social justice, economic justice, racial justice, environmental justice, that is going to be the vision for the future of this country. That needs to be made, which I think has not been made often enough. And that is that if the Democratic Party wants the strongest candidate to defeat Donald Trump, and we all know for the future of this country, we've got to defeat Donald Trump. beats Donald Trump. Appreciate the Bernie, but let me tell you something. Ain't gonna be Bernie alone who does it. All right? I am the only candidate for president who will tell you a harsh truth. And that truth is, given the nature of American economics and politics today, no president can do it alone. We need a political revolution. Together. Now, it is true that Wall Street has endless supplies of money, and I mean endless. It is true that corporate greed is such that they are shutting down plants in America and moving to China. It is true that the corporate media will tell you everything you don't need to know, but very little about what you do need to know. It is true that billionaires and their super PACs are buying elections. But at the end of the day, guess what is more powerful than Wall Street and corporate America and wealthy campaign countries? The Donald Trumps of the world to divide us up. If we stand together, there is nothing we cannot accomplish. And the reason that this campaign is doing so well is we're doing something quite radical for contemporary American politics. We're telling the truth. That we should have as a nation the highest voting turnout rate of any major country, not one of the lowest. It means that anyone 18 years of age or older is registered to vote. End of discussion. Taking on not just the corrupt campaign finance system, we are taking on a rigged economy. Here is what a rigged economy is about. A rigged economy is that over the last 25 years, the middle class has been in decline. We now have more people living in poverty than at any time in the history of the United States. And almost all of the new wealth in this country is going to the top 1/10 of 1%. A rigged economy is when today the top 1/10 of 1% now owns almost as much wealth as the bottom 90%. Rigged economy is when the 20 wealthiest people in this country, 20 people, now own more wealth than the bottom half of America, 150 million people. Rigged economy is when one family, the Walton family, owns more wealth than the bottom 42% of the American people. And here's what is especially nauseating about that. And that is the Walton family that owns Walmart pays their workers wages that are so low that many of those workers are forced to go on food stamps and Medicaid. And do you know who pays higher taxes for those food stamps and Medicaid? You do. A rigged economy is when the working class of this country is subsidizing the wealthiest family in this country. To the Walton family, get off of welfare, pay your workers a living wage. A radical idea, it means you gotta vote, and you gotta vote, and you gotta vote. It does not mean that billionaires should be able to buy elections. It does not mean that Republican governors throughout this country should be able to suppress the vote and make it harder for people to participate in the Democratic Party. Democracy means that we should have, as a nation, the highest voting turnout rate of any major country, not one of the lowest. Or older is registered to vote. End of discussion. We are taking on not just the corrupt campaign finance system, we are taking on a rigged economy. Here is what a rigged economy is about. A rigged economy is that over the last 25 years, the middle class has been in decline. We now have more people living in poverty than at any time in the history of the United States, and almost all of the new wealth in this country is going to the top 1/10 of 1%. A rigged economy is when today the top 1/10 of 1% now owns almost as much wealth as the bottom 90%. Rigged economy is when the 20 wealthiest people in this country, 20 people, now own more wealth than the bottom half of America, 150 million people. Rigged economy is when one family, the Walton family, owns more wealth than the bottom 42% of the American people. And here's what is especially nauseating about that. And that is the Walton family that owns Walmart pays their workers wages that are so low that many of those workers are forced to go on food stamps and Medicaid. And do you know who pays higher taxes for those food stamps and Medicaid? You do. A rigged economy is when the working class of this country is subsidizing the wealthiest family in this country. To the Walton family, get off of welfare, pay your workers a living wage. We are going to tell the wealthiest people and the largest corporations who are doing extraordinarily well that yes, they are going to start paying their fair share of taxes. And we are going to be loud and clear in stating that if you work 40 hours or 50 hours a week in this country, you will not be living in poverty. Because we're going to raise the minimum wage to a living wage, $15 an hour. It's not acceptable to me that week after week we read about factories being shut down and going to China. Our message to corporate America is if you want us to buy your products, you better start manufacturing those products in America. Just about ending a corrupt campaign finance system. in a rigged economy. It is about dealing with a criminal justice system that is broken. It is a national disgrace that we have more people in jail than any other country on earth. We are spending $80 billion a year to lock up 2.2 million Americans, disproportionately African American, Latino, and Native Americans. I want this country to have the best educated population, not more people in jail. In inner cities throughout this country and in rural communities, you have youth unemployment rates of 30, 40, 50%. And when you have kids hanging around, not in school, not working, bad things happen. My view is that we should invest in jobs and education for our young people, not in jails and incarceration. In America, we have got to make local police departments reflect the diversity of the communities they serve. We need a police culture across this country which says that lethal force, the killing of somebody, is the last response, not the first response. Corporate ownership of prisons and detention centers. We need to rethink the so-called war on drugs. Many people don't know this, but over the last 30 years, millions of Americans have received police records which stay with them for their whole lives because of possession of marijuana. And if you are a 19-year-old kid going out and looking for a job, you got a police record, that makes it harder to get that job. A lot of lives have been ruined because of those police records. Today, as part of the Federal Controlled Substance Act, marijuana is listed as a Schedule I drug. Amazingly, right alongside of heroin. Elected president, we will take marijuana out of the federal. Decision about whether to legalize marijuana or not is a state decision. You've got a proposition on the ballot in November. And I personally think that proposition of legalizing marijuana makes sense. Let us see California having the largest voter turnout in Democratic primary history. And let this great state, one of the most progressive states in America, tell the world you're going to lead us into the political revolution.